former U.S. Assistant Secretary of State, who joins us from Washington, D.C. Thanks so much for speaking to us, Mark. You know, the U.S. and Turkey are at least on the same page regarding Idlib, reiterating that Turkey does indeed have the right to defend itself in the agreed de-escalation zone in this case. So what do you make of Turkey's response, and how do you think they should formulate things from here?
Well, I think from a U.S. perspective, probably the most important thing is to respond to the request of President Erdogan's that we move American Patriot batteries down to the border so that Turkey does have a better chance of responding by using their F-16s. That's a political hot button between our two countries right now, and I hope we can get that resolved.
So Turkey should have F-16s at their disposal now?
Well, they're the Turkish F-16s. The question is, do they have adequate air defense, which comes from Patriot missiles that President Erdogan has requested. That request has been held up for a week as Washington seems to be deliberating that question. But I think given the strong relationships between President Erdogan and President Trump, I'd be surprised if there's a lot of pushback from the White House on that issue.
Right. You know, President Trump has said he wants U.S. troops out of Syria, but should there be some reconsideration now, given what's happening in Idlib?
Well, I don't think what's happening in Idlib will change the American position regarding boots on the ground inside of Syria. This is a presidential season, to put it lightly. The president is running on the platform of ending wars in the Middle East. I think that the president's opponents are all of the same mind. So I think that the number of troops going into the Middle East, and in particular in Syria, is going to continue to decrease, not increase.
Okay, but you do at least feel the United States should be supporting Turkey with military hardware, let's put it that way at the very least. But let me ask you a broader question. What really is at risk now at this point in time in Syria? How much further could this escalate?
Well, I think it could escalate tremendously. People need to recognize that Idlib is the last pocket of resistance to the Assad regime. It's clear that President Assad and his Russian supporters want to end this war, and they believe by taking care of the situation inside of Idlib, going against not only the opposition, but what they believe to be the terrorists, that could put a conclusion to this war that's been going on for over a decade. Obviously, there are other considerations on the side of Turkey with regards to the humanitarian flows inside of Syria heading to Turkey. And so it's a pretty complicated situation that I would hope further talks in Moscow might achieve a political solution so that we can have a humanitarian solution. The solution will not come about solely through the use of military, but if the Syrian regime is going to continue to strike at Turkish positions, I don't think that Turkey has an alternative at this point.
Mark Kimmitt joining us live there from Washington. Thank you.